Hey, welcome back to another quick episode of Main Irish Angling TV. Last time we looked at a number of the range of carp baits that they have to hand in store. I sort of hit the carp angle on it because it's boilies and it's pellets and that, but don't let that fool you. Carp are not the only fish in the water that will take these baits. A lot of other coarse fish will take them. A lot of the tench anglers scale down the baits a little bit to the smaller baits and have great success on them. Even the bream anglers are doing it now. So what's today's video? Well, today's video is delivery systems. Now, last time we touched on the fact that PVA bags sold here, they do the Fox system. I have to say, I love the Fox system. Check it out if you don't know anything about it. They also do the Corda funnel web system. Brilliant system. I've been using it for years and absolutely love it. Great way of chucking out a PVA bag, but if you want to put more freebies out than that, there are only two real ways. Either you take a boat out into the water and drop it off by hand, or you have to get on the rod and start spomming or spodding. Now, the first port of call whenever you're about to put out some bait is to find the spot that you need to fish to. Great kits like this from Corda. This is €12.40 for a spod and marker kit. What you get is a marker float and you get a spod. And it allows you, first of all, get your marker rod set up so that you can find the feature that you think the fish are going to feed to. Now, what we're also going to look at today is, this is one of the new Sonic SK4 XTR rods. This is their marker rod. It's a 12-foot rod and it's a 3.5 pound test curve. Great carbon using this, so you can really feel every vibration coming through. Now, I would pair this up with a big, huge bucket spooled reel, something like one of the Shimano's or the Daiwas, and I would use 20-pound whiplash as my main line, fed up through the rings to a shock leader. The shock leader I use usually for my marker rod will be a 30-pound armor cord braid by Corda. Absolutely cracking material for giving you that sort of punch and making sure that you're not going to smash up on the cast. Now, this rod, as I said, is a marker rod. It has little increments up here that have been whipped onto the rod itself to allow you measure as you pull out, so you can guide out the amount of line. You know that this is going to be a foot of line from the nose of the reel to here is a foot of line, and then you can go up in smaller increments if you need to be more accurate with the measurements. So great rod, and you know, the whipping and the finish, the reel C, everything about this rod is actually real good quality, and this looks probably better than a lot of the carp rods I see sitting out on buzzers. This is retailing at €150.42, so it's a great marker rod and it's a lifetime piece of kit. So that's your marker rod setup. Now, so we found a spot we wanted to fish to, and the next thing we do, we need to deliver our bait out there. Now, there's a number of methods we can use. We can employ the Corda funnel web PVA system. We can employ the Fox PVA solid bag system. But if we want to put a really decent bit of bait out there, the only real way to get it out is either by spodding with a designated spod or a spom. Now, spods have been around for years. Spoms are kind of the new kids on the block, and in fairness, the spoms have overtaken where spodding has left off, because spodding, you know, unless you know what you're doing, you can lose an awful lot of bait in flight, and then it can kind of get mashed in the bottom, so that when it hits in the water, you're having to pull it and leave it there, settle for a few minutes, and keep pulling it to try and wiggle it all out. Spom doesn't have any of those issues. It takes a fraction longer to load, but when you cast out, it absolutely delivers the bait 100%. You don't lose any in flight, and it is really, really the best delivery of bait I've ever come across. Basically, you have two sides to it. You've got to get used to which side you fill up. It's the opposite side to where the pressure pad is, and you have basically a little ridge marker here. You bait on the other side of that. You can put in sloppy ground bait, wet ground bait, you can put in maggots. You're not going to lose anything on this. And then you close it over, and then what happens is it's very stable in flight, will cast a really long way, and when it comes down, you feather it slightly before it hits, so that it actually turns the nose into the water and slows it down so it doesn't impact too hard. And then as it hits, the pressure hits the nose and opens it up. Everything drops straight out, and then it actually flies back on the surface. It doesn't have any of the Spod issues of catching water. It just whizzes back. Really dinky piece of equipment. So the Spom itself is €14.29 for the large one. They also do a smaller version. Now this is a real dinky one that's more designed not for a Spod rod but for clipping onto your main carp rod, because let's face it, most carpers are now using anything between 2.5 and 3.5 pound test curve rods. You can put this on, when loaded up it's going to probably weigh in about 2.5, 3.5 ounces depending on what you've put in it. And the idea is if you wanted to put little pockets of small patches of bait around a swim, like a PVA bag situation, great way of quickly building up a swim without overkilling it with too much bait. Now to deliver them out you need really a designated Spod rod, and this is where this new Sonic SK4 XTR comes in. This is a Spod 12 foot 5.5 pound test curve rod. The finish on this rod is just oozing quality. Great carbon being used and employed. Big 50mm butt ring. It is a stunning piece of kit, and like its marker rod brother, this rod has been finished to such perfection it probably looks better than a lot of the carp rods that are in use that I see out there. Quality, as I said, is superb. And the great thing about this rod is it will wind up and allow you cast with the right tackle, i.e. the right reel. So you'd need a big bucket spooled reel, something like a Shimano or one of the Daiwa reels like an Emblem. And then what you'd need is to marry that up with some 20-pound Whiplash mainline braid, and then maybe use a 50-pound Armour Corder leader material. Now, personally for spodding, it's always £50 for me. It's just for safety. In the right hands, right technique, this rod could probably put a Spom anywhere up to 150 yards with the right technique. Superb piece of kit, and that's retailing for $154.62. Great looking rod, superb for what it does. I've just bought a Daiwa Infinity Spod rod, and I wouldn't like to tell you how much that costs, because we were talking up near around €400 just for a Spod rod. So when you see this for such a niche piece, it's a great value for money. Marry it up with the right tools and you're not going to have any issues putting any bait anywhere you need it to go. So this has been a real quick video from MIA, Main Irish Angling TV, and we'll catch you in the next video very shortly.